The hidden cost of being poor, what nobody talks about. Let's talk about something real, something uncomfortable. Being poor doesn't just mean having less. It often means paying more money, more time, more stress, more of everything you can't afford to lose. This video is not about pity, it's about truth. It's about revealing the hidden costs that come with poverty, the kind nobody talks about. Because when you understand what it really means to be poor, you realize it's not just a money problem. It's a systemic trap, and it's costing people everything. It sounds backwards, but here's the reality. The less money you have, the more things cost you. For example, let's say you can't afford to buy in bulk. Instead of paying 50 cents per roll of toilet paper, you're paying $1 per roll at the corner store. Or you don't have the credit for a mortgage, so you rent. Over time, you pay way more in rent than you would have for a mortgage. But you never build equity. And if you can't afford the upfront cost of a car, you lease a high-interest one, or rely on unreliable transportation and pay with your time. These are poverty penalties, extra costs for those who can least afford them. When you're broke, your time is no longer your own. You might work multiple jobs with unpredictable schedules. You might spend hours commuting on public transport, or wait in long lines at assistance offices or food banks. Time is a precious resource, and poverty drains it. That's time not spent learning, resting, or building something better. Have you ever been so busy surviving that you had no energy left to improve your situation? So, let's talk about mental bandwidth for a minute. Studies show that financial insecurity actually reduces cognitive function. When you're constantly worrying about bills, food, and emergencies, it just wears you down, creates real mental fatigue. If you're poor, every decision matters, because honestly, every single dollar counts. Should you pay rent or fix the car, buy groceries or fill prescriptions? This kind of stress, it leads to burnout, poor health, and even worse financial decisions down the line. According to a Princeton study, poverty can reduce cognitive function by the equivalent of 13 IQ points just from the stress alone. People often judge those in poverty for having debt, but let's be real here. When you've got no cash and no safety net, debt becomes survival. Payday loans, high-interest credit cards, overdraft fees, they're lifelines, but with some nasty hooks. Sure, they offer quick relief, but the long-term damage is real. For example, borrowing $300 from a payday lender can turn into over $800 of repayments in just a few weeks. That's not just debt, that's a debt trap. And getting out of that trap? It's nearly impossible without education, support, or honestly, just a bit of luck. Poverty doesn't just affect today, it ripples across generations. When you're raised in poverty, you may not learn financial literacy. You inherit survival mindsets, not wealth-building strategies. You may start adulthood already in debt, like with student loans or medical bills. And if you don't break the cycle, your kids start from zero, or honestly, sometimes even worse. Escaping poverty is not just about earning more, it's about unlearning what poverty teaches you, and rebuilding your mindset and systems from scratch. Being poor also carries social costs. You're judged, labeled, treated differently. People assume you're lazy, irresponsible, or unmotivated, when, honestly, you're often working harder than anyone, just to survive. This stigma discourages people from asking for help or seeking new opportunities. It leads to isolation, shame, and a sense of hopelessness. If you've ever judged someone for being poor, ask yourself, do you know their full story? So how do we fight back against this system? It starts with awareness, with understanding, and with strategy. Here are a few practical steps. Educate yourself about money, even if you're starting from zero. Build small, consistent habits. Track expenses. Save $5 at a time. Automate bills. Create multiple streams of income. Sell a skill. Start a side hustle. Find your leverage. Challenge limiting beliefs. Wealth is possible even if you've never seen it modeled. Build community. Support systems are wealth in disguise. Poverty is hard, but it's not permanent. And your starting point does not define your ending point. Being poor is more than a financial state. It's a psychological, emotional, and systemic weight. But awareness is power, and every step you take toward knowledge, ownership, and action weakens that weight. If this resonated with you, share your story in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and pass this to someone who needs to know you are not broken. The system is, and together we can break free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.